Well, welcome again to Thinking Tuesday. It's great to be here again to see you another week. As you know, last week was I was on vacation, and it was a wonderful time to reflect, renew, reinvigorate, and re-energized. So I'm back with you today for Thinking Tuesday, and I'm so excited to be here. This is where we elevate our thinking by examining our thoughts, determining how they're serving us, and having the courage to make the necessary mindset changes that take us closer to accomplishing our goals and our dreams and making us the type of person that we would like to become. As you know, our slogan is your mind is a garden, your thoughts are the seeds. You can grow flowers or you can grow weeds. So on Thinking Tuesday, we choose to get rid of those negative, pesky weeds, those negative thoughts that create obstacles in our path to personal growth. And we replace them with flowers. The flowers are those positive thoughts and thought patterns that help us to grow. And that's what we're all about on Thinking Tuesday. So I am replenished after a great vacation, and I hope that you're also seeking to replenish yourself. But replenishment should not just be in the summer, it should be ongoing because we can't give what we don't have. And we don't want to be depleted to the point where we can't give what we would like to give and what we're capable of giving. So today, I want to speak to you about decision making. Decision making, yes. We all have those periods when we have to make decisions, and sometimes it's easy, and sometimes it's not so easy. And many times when it's not easy, it's because it is wrapped, it's clothed in a lot of emotion. There's a lot of emotion attached to it. And I'm so convinced, and I receive so many indications that nothing is coincidental. I've actually stopped believing in coincidences because things happen in the universe that bring certain things together, and so we're not uh, victims of coincidences. I also learned that the answers also show up when we give ourselves the opportunity to be open to discover uh, our answers, when we are open to self examination. The answers are always there. We just have to follow the process. We have to trust our instincts. We have to bring those resources that we have to bear in helping us make decisions in this situation. So, as I read my daily devotion this morning, I was so pleased that it was spot on, as it usually is, with an experience that I have been having in making a decision. So, I want to share that with you. Excuse me, I want to share that with you for a moment. And I'm going to read directly what I read this morning. It says, when I clean out my closet, I let go of what I no longer want or need. Putting my things in order helps me to feel free and gives me the feeling of possibility. I remember this feeling when I considered my life's path. I may discover that I want to leave certain behaviors or ways of thinking behind. As I release old thoughts or habits that no longer serve me, I open a new way of being, to joy and peace, to purpose and fulfillment. I feel liberated. I feel energized. Letting go feels good and immediately lightens my spirit. I release old burdens that weigh me down. I let go of feelings that bind me to the past. I feel healed in my mind, body, and soul. I am ready to move forward with a light and peaceful heart. And I read that because, as I mentioned to you, it was spot on because I've been trying to make a decision over the last few days, and finally, I did make a decision. And this was the same experience that I had after making the decision: lighthearted, free, energizing. So I kid you not, I've been agonizing about this, making a decision about attending an international coaching event that I was really, really, really looking forward to. It's our 10th anniversary, and I have been registered for it for quite a while. And I've been looking forward to seeing old colleagues and also making new friends and just listening and being inspired by thought leaders, great thought leaders that pour into us and inspire us. But as the date drew closer, I had to think seriously about whether or not it was the best thing for me to attend, as I thought about all the things that I would have to mitigate with the surge of the Delta variant, despite the fact that I am fully vaccinated. I was really looking forward to this event. But I also had to think about my family, who I would be returning to. This is an international conference. I had to think particularly of my 99-year-old mother, also my husband. And I left no stone unturned in trying to make this decision. And some of my friends with whom I spoke, family members, can tell you that I am really very detailed and I go into every crevice in trying to find information to inform me of the decisions I make, because I want to make sure that I make the right decision for me and for those who are going to be affected. So, as I said, I left no stone unturned, but I learned to listen to my intuition and to break away from the emotional pull using some of the thinking strategies. I had to coach myself through this. So I don't just coach others, but I have to coach myself, because what's the purpose of sharing with others when I don't share with myself, when I don't use the same information? Because I believe in what I do. I'm sure you've had those moments when you've had to coach yourself or have someone else coach you through a difficult decision. And it might not seem like a major decision to you, but in my case it was, because I had several things that had to be reconsidered. So these are some of the questions that I had to ask myself and be led by. And I'd like you to think about some of these questions when you are making decisions, also important decisions, or not even just important decision, any decision. But I had to ask myself, what are my options? Because my options were to attend virtually or in person. And I had to think about what would each of these experiences be like. Of course, in person is always great because you have that energy and that synergy between the people that you're talking to, and you are, it's just a very emotional time to be in person, and you just feel a different type of energy. I also had to ask, is my decision mutually beneficial to me and my family? Mutually beneficial, because I don't live in a vacuum. We don't live in a vacuum. We live in communities. So I had to think about that. How would it benefit me? But how would it benefit them? I also had to look at what are the risks. What are the risks in going to an international conference where people are masked, unmasked, vaccinated, not vaccinated, whatever the case may be. And even though I would be taking a lot of precautions, there have been breakthroughs. So I was thinking about all those things. Um, I also had to think about what are the long-term benefits. What are the long-term benefits? Do I go to a conference and have this wonderful experience? And I know I'd be amassing knowledge and being inspired. And that information will benefit me for a long time, for a lifetime. But is it worth the unknown of coming back home to my family in a place where there'd be a lot of exposure? So I had to take the emotions out of the decision making and lead with my head. And that's part of Thinking Tuesday. How do we examine our thoughts, see how they're serving us, and be courageous enough to make those hard decisions without the emotions? I also realize that when I make a decision, I also have to follow it through the valleys until I get to higher ground. I have to go through the entire process. And that was the agonizing part about this. But I know that it was worth it. I don't run from challenges. I try to think things through, even when it's leading me into some very uncomfortable areas. I also learned that I have to follow the process, which can be harder than expected. In the end, I'll share with you that I was led by the thought that I am free to act, but I am not free from the consequences of my actions. I would have a wonderful time, but what if? So I finally decided, after considering everything that I just mentioned, I decided to attend the conference virtually. And that's where this devotional reading was very spot on today, because I go back to say, letting go feels good and immediately lightened my spirit. And that's exactly how I felt once I made the decision. I realized that going virtually would offer me the best of both worlds. I will still be inspired and be intellectually fed by great thought leaders, network virtually with my old and new friends would still be possible. And most significantly is that I would honor, I would also honor my family, my loved ones, knowing that the sacrifice I made was worth the peace of mind of knowing that I'm doing my part in maintaining some level of safety in our household. So I share that with you to let you see how you think through making decisions, how I thought through making decisions, how, yes, I did agonize over it initially, but I finally came to a decision that I'm at peace with. I followed the process that I teach. It applies to me also. And I hope that this has helped you in some way. You may be in the process of making a decision now. You may have just come out of making a decision, or you may be going into having to make a decision. However small, however big, there is a process. If we take our time, we look at all of the issues, we try to take the emotion out of it, and we lead with our head. But in this case, I also led with my heart as well because I was thinking about my loved ones. But sometimes it's head first and heart. Sometimes it's heart first and then head. But it's a combination of both. But we have to examine our thoughts. So I hope that this has added value to you. This real life exercise has allowed me to examine and strengthen my own decision making skills and to elevate my thinking in dealing with emotionally charged issues. So I hope that you find value in this, as I said. Please share this with someone else who could benefit from it. I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday on Thinking Tuesday. Be good to yourself, replenish yourself, reflect, give yourself some grace because oftentimes we don't do that. And share with someone who's important to you the benefits of thinking through issues, being um, graceful with themselves and others. I invite you again to go to my website, drcherylburton.com, to see many of the services and the programs that I offer to help you in your personal growth. Feel free to reach out to me through any of the social media platforms, and I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday at noon for Thinking Tuesday, where we elevate our minds. Take care. Bye bye for now.